DJ Pauli B.
That's me.
That's you. What's cracking, dude?
She probably is going to be like, yeah, guys, by the way, I actually am a DJ too.
Yeah.
No, I can say,
P. Diddy?
yeah, I can say that I have not DJed before.
That's the one thing that this girl has not done yet,
Yeah,
is
no,
DJ.
no DJing.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Counterculture Pod. We are sitting down with Paulina. What's your last name?
She just told us.
Braden?
Braden is I wanted to say Brandon.
No, I get
Braden.
that one a lot too.
You get Brandon a lot?
Yeah.
Paulina, what's up? How's your weekend been?
It's good. A lot slower than other comps, but we've been hanging out. Just
chilling.
Serving coffee.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Spilling and
Spilling
serving.
coffee too.
Spilling and
Yeah.
chilling.
Don't tell Gabe.
Yeah. Our tablecloth will make it back to Jersey, and he'll probably be concerned as to what happened. But I poured myself a cup of coffee yesterday and was ready to drink it. It was full, had my cream in it, and then 2 seconds later, I spilled the entire cup on the tablecloth, our white tablecloth. And then this morning, set myself up another cup of coffee, and it made it all over the table.
Wait, this has happened 2 days in a row?
Yeah, 2 days in a row.
How do you spell? This is just your thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I usually don't spill things, but
So,
I guess so.
Paulina, I guess, is really good at spilling coffee.
yeah.
And then she also likes to run college kids over.
That's a myth.
Are you sure? Travis, what do you think? Is that a myth? We're asking the audience.
Phone a friend.
He was in the car.
It was definitely all.
I don't know how many potholes I've seen in Arizona, but we'll run with that.
I
We'll
don't
run
think
with
they
that.
exist. The weather's too nice.
Huh?
So I don't think they exist here. The weather is too nice.
Yeah.
For potholes.
So we've been at Legends Championship this weekend. It's the second day. Paulina.
Third day.
What?
Third day.
Is it the third day?
It's second
Yeah,
day
it
for us,
started-
third day for her.
Oh, right.
Started
Thursday.
Thursday.
Yeah, true that. Okay. Paulina, give us a little tidbit about yourself. How would you describe yourself to people? Somebody comes up to you and is like, hey, what's your name? What do you do? And what is your social security number? What are you telling them?
Won't tell them my social security number.
Okay, smart.
What do I do? I would say technically I'm director of partnerships for Paper Street Coffee. So I help with all of our athletes, all of our events. And then I also help with some social media stuff for Broken Science Initiative and the CrossFit book.
Cool. For Paper Street Coffee, how did you get involved with Gabe?
So I had started CrossFit about a year and a half ago.
You just started CrossFit a year and a half ago?
Yeah, back in
Okay, we're going to get into more context of why that's really interesting and made me do the rock eyebrow Riz thing right now. But, okay, go ahead.
so I started CrossFit April 30th of 2022. 22, yeah. And my friend who had introduced me to CrossFit, she was like, hey, we should go to Wadapalooza. Like, it always looks like so much fun. And she had a friend who was competing. So she was like, maybe we should just go there for the weekend and just hang out. I had never been to Miami, so I was like, yeah, let's go. So we had gone, and I knew about Paper Street just through Sebi's podcast. And so I had gone up to the booth one day, kind of introduced myself to Gabe, and I was like, if you ever need any help, or first I just like said hi. And then later on, I think it was the Monday after Wadapalooza or something, he had called into the podcast and was like, oh my gosh, it was so busy. And I think it was just him and his fiance working the booth. And so he was like, it was just so crazy. Because, I mean, it's 4 days long. The hours are super long. You're there all day. And he was like, we're just exhausted. And it was just the two of us. And so I had reached out to him over social media being like, hey, if you guys ever need any help, just let me know. Like, it's so much fun for me to go to these events. I would love to be a part of that and kind of help. And so we had talked on the phone for maybe 30 minutes or so, didn't really like entertain it at all.
Wait, so how did you get on the phone with him then?
He was like, yeah, let's just hop on a call and kind of see what you want to do or where this could lead.
Yeah.
And I had 1 semester left of college. And so after Wadapalooza, I don't think he had another event until like maybe April or May or so. And so he was like, maybe after our next event, I'll reach back out to you and see if you want to come, just kind of hang out, see how it goes. Well, then it was during the second week of the Open, there was a Broken Science Initiative event in Arizona on a Saturday. So
Can you explain what Broken Science is for anybody that might be listening?
just in general.
Yeah, like what is it?
Okay, so Broken Science is just, the way that it had started was the misuse of statistics in science, essentially. And so nowadays, what's considered science, or we call it postmodern science. So it's kind of like its own category, and people are just misusing it.
Okay.
Not using it properly. And we want to help show that to people and be like, hey guys, this isn't actually science, and what they're telling you isn't true.
Yeah.
This is just like media, basically. So I had gone out to one of these events, and Gabe was actually there, and we hadn't talked since Wadapalooza. And this event was like, the Open was 2 weeks after Wadapalooza, or 3 or something.
Yeah.
So I had met up with him again. I was like, oh, I'm Paulina. Like, we had just talked on the phone a few weeks ago, and he was like, oh, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I'm just here for the day, for the event, and then like I'll fly back home to Texas later tonight.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, you're here for the day, like for this? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, all right, I'll hit you up like next week or something. So on Monday he calls me and was like, can you work for me? And I was like, all right. So,
Yeah, hell yeah.
He just needed to see you
yeah,
again.
it was just like reassurance that I was willing to go out of my way to like go to something I enjoyed.
Right.
Yeah.
I made an effort to like go to something that was important to me. So it started out like that, and I just went out to the next event with him and got along really well. Work was going well, so it just kind of fell into place.
Yeah, Gabe describes it as he saw that you were a hustler, like that you had like, you know, talked. I bothered Gabe a long time ago about like doing content for Paper Street, like a long time ago. And then he like, so I kind of described it that you did the same thing where like you hit him up or you talked to him or whatever. And then he saw that you actually like hustled, that you made the effort to like go to the Broken Science thing. And then he was like, I gotta have her work for me because he like saw something in you,
Right.
you know?
I just think I didn't see it as that way. Like,
Yeah.
I had just gone out of my way to go, or it wasn't out of my way.
Yeah.
I made the effort to go to an event that was important to me and that
Yep.
I wanted to learn from.
Yeah.
And he just happened to be there. I didn't know that he was going to be there. So I didn't really see it as hustling, or it was just something that I enjoyed.
I think what's interesting though is like that's normal for you, I think, right? The way that
Yeah.
you're thinking about it. How many 21-year-olds do you think are doing that same thing? Like they're not going out of their way, but their
They're
going
to a conference about how statistics are being misused.
right. Like there's
Ain't
not
no
a lot of
other 21-year-olds doing that.
and you were 20 at the time.
Yeah.
Right? So like no 21 or 20-year-old is going, like that's not their interest. You know what I mean? When I
Right.
was 20, I was like, I'm gonna go get fucked up right now. Like, I'm not
no.
looking at
No interest.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, dude. Okay, can we talk about what happened that weekend?
The hotel?
Yeah, because you don't see it as like the hustle, but like a lot of hustle happened that weekend.
So that was actually...
Or is that a different
knew
weekend?
I had, a few weeks before that, I had gone to Virginia Beach.
Yeah.
And I tried to book a hotel. I booked it successfully. That was no issue.
Yeah.
But whenever I got there, they wouldn't let me check in because I wasn't 21.
Right.
So I flew in at like 11 o'clock. I get an Uber, ready to go to bed. We're going to train tomorrow, like train all day.
Yeah, what were you
basically.
doing in Virginia
So I
Beach?
went to the Krypton training camp.
Yeah.
And so we're going to train all day, Saturday and Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go to bed. It's also like 3 hours past the time that I usually go to bed, if not more. Like 4.
Paulina is a grandma.
Yes.
And she goes to bed at like 6 o'clock at
She
night.
says she's 21, but she's actually 81.
Yeah.
So I'm ready to like just chill out, basically. I go to check in. The guy's like asking for my ID because my name, whatever, is on my ID.
Yeah.
And so I give it to him, and he was like, "You're not 21." And I was like, "Yeah."
Right.
And he was like, "Yeah, we can't let you check in. You're not 21." But I was super confused because why would you let somebody
Book the
book
hotel?
a hotel?
Yeah.
You have to be 18 to book a hotel.
Right.
But you can't check in. So what 18-year-old is booking a hotel but not the like
Yeah, it doesn't make
I don't
any
get
sense.
it. So
It makes no sense.
I feel like at 18, I booked so many hotels. Like, so many.
Yeah, but she said that this is a newer,
Oh.
so probably.
Write in the comments below, how long has this been a thing?
Yeah,
Because at
Yeah,
18,
when did
I
this go into
definitely...
effect? Because I also went on spring break before I was 21, and we checked in.
Yeah. We
Yeah,
would
I
just,
don't
like, me
know.
and my friends would just, like, book a hotel, like, on a skateboard trip or something. Just, like,
I didn't really know it was a thing, but
yeah.
yeah, so tried to check in. They wouldn't let me. I'm sitting in the lobby for an hour trying to figure out what to do. None of my friends are awake, so nobody's answering the phone.
Mm.
And I had a few people that I knew that like lived there, but
Yeah.
obviously they're all asleep.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, worst comes to worst, I'm just gonna sit in this lobby until tomorrow morning and then go train and then like I'll figure it out later. I call a bunch of hotels in the area. I try to ask them, what are the chances that you let me check in without checking my ID in the next 10 minutes? I'll be there. So I had gotten one yes. I show up to the hotel and they're training, like some girl who'd been trained or something. She was being trained that weekend. She's at the counter. She's trying to check me in. And she goes, "Hey, can I see your ID?" I was like, okay. So pull out my ID. I hand it over. She's kind of looking at it. She shows it to her friend next to her.
What's going through your head?
I was
at that point?
panicking. I was.
Have you seen Superbad before? There's a point where, what's his name? Fuck, what's his name?
McLovin.
McLovin. He's like, he got a fake ID.
Okay.
And on it, it says
Oh,
McLovin.
yeah,
And-
I know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
and then, but he hands it to the cops, and the cops are like, or no, he hands it to the person that checks him out, the cashier, and she goes, "How old are you?" And he goes, "No, this is the cops. Never mind. Okay, I'm fucking this up." He gives it to the cops, and they're like, "How old are you, McLovin?" And he's like, "Old enough."
Old, yeah,
And they're like,
that's
"Old enough
exactly
for
how
what?"
I felt, yeah.
To party?
To check into a hotel. So I'm just, it wasn't panic. It was just defeated.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to do.
Yeah.
So she tells me that she can't check me in. So I go out to my Uber and ask him to check me into my hotel
Yeah.
because he's over 21. And so he walks in, he was like, "I'll do it. Just you can't mess this up because I'm gonna get in trouble, whatever.
Right.
It's under my name."
Yeah.
So thankfully this guy checks me into the hotel. I get my room. So after that experience, I knew that I wouldn't be able to go to Arizona and spend the night and be able to check into a hotel.
Yeah.
So I live about an hour and a half away from the airport. My flight's at 5 o'clock or something. So I get up, drive to the airport. I remember the event was around 1 o'clock or something.
Mm-hmm.
So got to Arizona, ate lunch, go to the event, and then my flight was at 7 or something. And so after the event, go straight to the airport, get back. I landed at 11:30 or something and then had drove home. So
Yeah. See, this is like, this is the shit that a 20-year-old is not gonna do.
Nope.
But it's worth it to.
For you.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
you.
I think that, I mean, that's the point is like, we're saying that there's not a lot of 20-year-olds like you
Yeah.
or 21-year-olds.
We were saying that last night after you told us the story. I was like, at 20, no
Yeah.
shot, dude. There's no way that I would have been doing stuff like that.
I was like, her
Sure.
parents must be so proud.
Yeah.
But if you would have asked me to do that 5 years ago or something, I don't think I would have done it.
You don't think
or-
you're there yet? There.
Yeah, I wasn't interested in the same things, and I wouldn't say that I have the passion or the drive in what I love doing. I wouldn't be willing to go out of my way to make those things happen, and I think I've learned that's how you make things happen, or that's
Yeah.
kind of how good things come along.
For sure.
Well,
And
I
then
mean, the people that you've been able to meet and stuff, and we don't have to like talk about that much, but what's interesting to me now that you've put into context that you've only been doing CrossFit for a year and a half, now I'm like, the rooms that you've gotten in and the people that you've
Yeah.
talked to in a year and a half of like just liking this thing, that's incredible.
Yeah.
But I
super
think,
impressive.
yeah, it shows what's the potential that you have, and not just in CrossFit, but everything else. If you love something that much and you're willing to take it to that measure, then literally anything is possible.
Yeah.
And I think I had grown up swimming, so I swam for 12, 14 years, whatever. And I would think of myself that I worked hard swimming.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that my coaches would say the same thing. Oh, she's a hard worker. She shows, like, never missed a practice. I was always there, always early, like, would go out of my way to show up early, whatever. But knowing what I know now, I wouldn't have deserved to gotten to the places that I wanted to be. So growing up, everybody has the dream of going to the Olympics, whatever. I wouldn't have deserved that if I would have made it there.
Why?
Because I didn't put in the work, or
Okay.
like,
Yeah.
Are you
the-
saying compared to like what you do now,
Compared
or
to what
how
yeah.
your behaviors now?
right, compared to what I do
I
now
see what you're saying.
in CrossFit and even just everyday life, the way that I approach my work or even training is nowhere near what I was doing swimming.
What switched for you? You're so young to have a revelation like that.
Yeah, that's insane.
So whenever I stopped swimming my senior year because COVID had happened.
High school?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I had around that time, all of my friends were
What year was COVID?
2020.
You graduated college in 2 years?
High school.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
she
2.5.
said she graduated college
Three.
a year early, right?
Yeah.
You graduated college in 2.5 years?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I'm feeling lesser and lesser and lesser. Okay.
whenever I'd started high school, I knew I had lived overseas throughout middle school.
Why?
Whenever my dad worked in the oil field.
Okay. Where did
So
you
we
live?
lived in Southwest Africa, Angola,
What? That's
specifically
crazy.
for 3.5, 4 years. And then my dad had gotten sick, and we were supposed to stay there another year or so. But we had kept our same house in Texas. So I had gone to school with the same people all throughout elementary school for the most part. And then I would be going back to the same high school that everybody would be going to, like, before I had left.
What did he get sick with?
Malaria.
Damn.
Wow.
So he had 2 different kinds of malaria at the same time and was in the hospital for a month and a half.
Holy cow.
It was bizarre. And this was the last month of school I was in 8th grade. So he was in the hospital for like the last month or so. My mom was there with him. He had to be flown out to South Africa for them to treat him and everything. And so it all happened within 2 weeks that we were told that we were going to have to move back to the US. And the swimming there wasn't as competitive. We would still train hard and we would swim with other teams in the area, but it wasn't the US. It wasn't developed the same way, and it hasn't been around as long.
Yeah.
So I moved back to the U.S. and had kind of created a new friend group in the swim space because that's where we would spend all of our time. We would wake up at 4:30, go train in the morning before school.
How old were you?
I was my freshman year of high school, so 15, 14.
Okay.
Get up, go train, go to school, then go train again, and then you go home, eat dinner, do homework, and then go to bed and do the same thing over and over again. And so the goal was to go swim in college and just see how far you can take it. And I don't even remember where we were going with this. What was the question?
Just keep telling me your story.
Just
That's
keep
fine.
going.
Yeah.
So the goal was to go swim in college.
Yeah.
Oh, we were talking about COVID.
Yeah.
So I knew after my junior year or so that I wasn't going to swim D1 and I wasn't going to go to the Olympics or be able to be one of the top performing athletes, because the thing in swimming is you can be good at one or two events and kind of be successful in the sport, and that's all you train for. I didn't have that. I was kind of decent at everything. I swam mid-distance, long distance. I wasn't a sprinter, but I was okay at everything.
Yeah.
Sure.
And that wasn't going to get me anywhere. And so I had come to terms with the fact that I can stop swimming now and just start working and then make money. And that was kind of my new outlet of working hard. And it was nice because you could see the results. So I could
Tangible results.
Yeah, I could go work 20 hours a week out like after school and then see it in my bank account 2 weeks later, you know?
Right.
And so it's nice to have that reward. And then I had started college and it was still kind of shut down from COVID. And growing up, I had seen the Ironman, like the triathlon. It happened 10, 15 minutes away from my house. And I always thought it would be cool to go do one because everybody, oh, that's bizarre. That's so crazy.
Yeah.
You can't do that. You know, it's not something that you just go out on a whim and do it.
Yeah.
And one of my best friends in high school, her dad was a professional triathlete, and so he would go do them. He passed away my junior year of high school or something.
Wow.
And so I think that had kind of re-sparked the idea of the Ironman in my head. I had gotten to college, still stopped swimming. I'd started doing F45, but I had a few friends who I had swam with, went to college there as well. They were doing like club swimming there. It was fun, but I was okay with never being in the water again. And so I had started F45, so much fun, met really all my best friends now are pretty much from there. And I just knew that doing something every single day and there was nothing to work towards just wasn't for me, kind of. My best friend there had gotten pregnant, and so she had kind of stopped coming, and I was like, I'm gonna go do an Ironman. Like, this is my time. It's close by. I can drive myself over there. Like, I don't need anybody to come with me. I'm just gonna go figure it out, kind of. And there are some other things going on family-wise that I was like, my parents always worked really hard growing up, and it was just kind of, we work really hard, and it doesn't matter if you don't like your job. That's just what you do. You know, you just show up every single day.
Sure.
And that's
not like the normal shit right now, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like you have to love it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, do you, girl?
Otherwise, I don't feel like doing it. I don't want to do it. It's uncomfortable. And so I was kind of stuck in this in-between spot of I'll work as hard as I can in order to be able to provide for them in a way, but also I don't care what it takes in order to get there, because I'd seen other people, just things being handed to them.
Yeah.
I knew that I wanted to be as far away as possible from that. And so leaving no space on the table for that to be an option for me. Like, I never wanted anything given to me. I wanted to earn everything that I have.
Yeah.
So I knew that doing the Ironman wouldn't be easy, obviously. And I had swam my whole life, and that's the shortest part of the race. And it's the first part. So after that, you're stuck outside of the water
Yeah.
for 15 hours, just grinding it out basically. And so I told my friend that I was going to go do it, and I didn't really train for it, to be honest. So it was in October. The race was October 23rd, and I decided that I was going to do it in May. So I had however long that
Over
is.
6 months?
4 months, 5,
5,
6
yeah.
months.
Yeah, 5 months.
And the furthest I got really bad shin splints. I ate shit on a box jump and like just got the worst shin splints after that. I don't know what happened, but so the furthest I'd ran before my Ironman was 5 miles. Yeah.
And you have to
it's
do a whole
It's a marathon.
Yeah.
And the furthest I had rode my bike was 40,
Okay.
and it's 112 miles.
Oh, I was thinking 70. 112.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a big difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had shown up, and to be honest, like I wanted it to be hard just to see how it goes. And
Yeah.
Just experience
See if you could do it.
that, you know?
Yeah.
So show up, do the swim, easy.
Mm-hmm.
That was super easy. Come out like first out of the water in
Yeah, I
my
bet.
age group. And then as the day goes on, I'm just kind of like trickling.
Did you finish?
Yeah. Okay, but here's the thing.
Yeah.
So
You finished an Ironman without training for it,
But-
basically.
it was something, it was different than any other, it's not a competition.
Yeah.
Or it wasn't to me. I was there to just see if I could do it, and the lessons I had learned from it, I would not, like, you couldn't trade me the world for it.
Yeah. So my question is though, kind of what I was alluding to before all that was like, what was the switch that flipped for you that made you have that mindset?
Yeah,
There's not many like kids, especially in your generation, that think, let me work hard for this stuff. So many kids now, like college age or whatever, they're just like, and I'm sure it was the same when I was younger too, your age, but like kind of pussies, right? Like they have a case of pussyitis, right? And it's like they don't want to work for things. Like the easier route is the better route. I don't want to be met with any resistance, but like you are like chasing resistance.
Yeah.
Like you want that feeling. So what was the thing that made you flip in your head?
One thing that came to mind was you don't ever deserve anything. It's not, I think if you ever think I should have gotten that, I deserved to be first, or I deserved to be paid this amount for whatever I did. If you go into it with that mindset, you've already given yourself an out to not work as hard.
Yeah.
And I just don't think you ever deserve it. You can earn it. You can say, oh, I earned first place. I worked really hard. I've been doing all this. I've worked on this, whatever. But I wouldn't say I don't ever want to say, oh, I deserved that.
Sure.
I just don't think it's fair to say that.
I don't think so
'Cause
either.
it's also not in your control.
Yeah.
So also going into my Ironman, there's only so much you can control in a 17-hour window.
Right.
And that's your head.
Yeah.
That's it. And your
Yeah.
food.
Yep.
Like, figure out what you're going to eat, and everything that runs through your head is going to drive what happens in that 17-hour window.
Sure. Yeah.
And so
'cause-
you're going to go into it being like, oh, this is great. This is fine. And especially not being trained. Like, my body obviously was not ready for that, especially not having a background of running or cycling.
Yeah.
And so it gets to the point where all you can do is be grateful. And so during the bike and the run, they have a bunch of volunteers out, and you run through portions of a neighborhood. People would be sitting out there with their kids. They're all playing in the streets. Oh, do you want a popsicle? Do you want water? Whatever. It was the sweetest thing.
That's sweet.
And every time I would get there, I'd be in tears, just almost in tears, just because of how happy it made me.
Wow.
Oh.
And that's lasted just throughout after I've done it. Like, that's just been part of me now, and it's something that I can always look back on.
Yeah.
because I don't think you can ever reach that in a state of just everyday life. You're never going to be that beat down to where somebody offering you
A popsicle makes you cry.
is going to make you cry, or even being like, oh my gosh, good job.
Yeah.
But they, like, the truth is all of them took time out of their day to come out. And
Yeah.
so what I'm doing doesn't mean anything. It's the fact that they came out.
Sure.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, that's fucking wild insight from a 21-year-old.
But
I don't
was
even
all-
have words right now. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
It was
What did
crazy.
she just
I remember the week after. I don't know if this is just because your nervous system is just shot, but I would be driving back from the gym or something, and I would see like the sunset. Or the sunrise, whatever. I'd be like, almost, it'd like make me cry. It's like bliss is the best way to put it.
Yeah.
Is you're just floating.
Yeah.
And there's nothing greater than that. You just see
Wow.
you just see like love everywhere. That's all.
I think when you intentionally chase hardship like that, you have a better understanding of like what to be grateful for.
Yeah.
Because, like, let's face it, in the environment that we live in now, right, it's really easy to be complacent. And, like, you don't have to be met with resistance every day if you'd want. You know, most people could, if they wanted, find a job that would pay them to be remote.
But even then, you're not happy doing that.
No, that's
And
what I'm
so
saying.
It's never going to be convenient.
Yeah.
It's always going to be inconvenient.
Yeah.
And also, there's no better time than now.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I think everybody's always seeking out something that's happened in the past or something that could happen in the future. One day I'll do this, one day I'll lose weight, one day I'll start working out, or
Yeah.
I'll get a new job, but it just can't be right now. And
Well,
the time, like, that's another, with my Ironman, I'd learned the time that we're given is so valuable.
Yeah.
And it could be tomorrow
It's short. Yeah.
taken away. And I never wanted, I'd never want to take advantage of that.
Mm-hmm.
And so with my iron, I'd done a second one after that,
Of course you did. Yeah. Probably the week after.
6 months after.
Yeah. That's a short
Yeah.
frame time. Yeah.
And I just never wanted to be able to look back and think, I wish I had done more with my time. And that's whenever my mindset had also kind of shifted on what I wanted to do with my future and where I wanted to work.
Yeah, so I think two things there is a lot of people are chasing happiness, and I think that they're chasing the wrong thing because it's really easy to get complacency and happiness mixed up. So, like, things are comfortable, they're good, I have a decent paying salary, a nice family, good job, blah, 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 I'm happy. You might not actually be happy, right? So I think that people get that mixed up when it's like they lose purpose and they have their complacency. You know, the American dream, let's take that for example. So instead of chasing their dreams that really make them happy and like the road that would make them happy, they just like feel like they're happy already when really it's a slow death, you know? And then on top of that, the time, I tell this to people all the time, our time is so fucking short here,
Yeah.
right? And to spend, like, people think about it like 100 years. 100 years feels like a really long time, or it sounds like it, right? But when you think about like how fast your childhood went,
Yeah.
it was a blink of an eye.
It's so crazy.
You can't even remember most of it,
Yeah.
right? So it's like, why waste any of your time
Yeah.
doing shit that you don't want to fucking do? It doesn't make sense. When kids your age or even younger come to me and they're like, yeah, I'm going to college. I don't know what I want to do, but I'm going. I'm like, why the fuck are you going to college? Like, this is the dumbest thing I ever heard. Unless you're doing like the STEM field and you're seriously passionate about it. I just don't think that kids at 18, 19 should be going and choosing something, getting themselves in tons of debt, which then they can't follow paths that they want to follow because they have to pay that debt back because otherwise their ass is like fucked, you know? And so anyway, it's interesting the path that you've chosen, but let's get more into what you're doing now. So like you get into CrossFit at some point. I hate asking this question because
Wait, can I add something really quick?
yeah, add as much as you want. Yeah. Just interrupt me. Just shut me up if you want.
Yeah, he talks a lot.
It made me think of what you had said about pleasure and without your purpose.
Yeah.
I'd heard this quote a few days ago, and it was, a man without purpose is always seeking pleasure.
Yeah.
And I think that's the perfect way to put it.
Yeah, 100%.
It's like short-term satisfaction, and it's just constant. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, for sure. When you don't have purpose, the only thing you can do is chase pleasure, right?
Yeah.
So, like, because you have nothing else guiding you after tomorrow or after today.
Yeah.
So, like, for example, all those people that, like, I am not convinced that anybody loves the party, that anybody loves drinking. I'm just not convinced of that, because I went through that stage of my life for a long time where I was drinking a lot and not drinking a lot, but like once or twice a weekend, partying and stuff. And I was like, oh my God, this is such a fun time. But really, I figured out I lost purpose. I had all these dreams when I was 16 years old to move to LA and be a musician and do all this crazy shit, right?
Yeah.
And then what took the spot of that was like partying and stuff, because I lost my purpose. I lost the adventure,
It's
whatever.
something that you would look forward to.
Yeah.
Exactly, right. So like, so now the things that can fill your space of time that make you feel a little bit better actually drain your cup instead of fill it.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have the energy to go do the things that you really want to do. And that's why I think that, like, when people who do choose the path that's mostly beaten, right, that go to work, go to school, all this stuff, they look at people like us and they're like, you're so weird. Like, why are you taking the risk of doing, you know, opening a business, or why are you doing social media for business, like chasing CrossFit, all these different things? Because they see a deficit in what they're actually feeling instead of like, they don't actually care that you, why would they care if you're stable or not?
Yeah.
They don't give a shit if you're stable.
Yeah.
They just care that you're doing something that they wish they could be doing,
Yeah.
which is chasing their dream. It might not be CrossFit, but doing something outside of what's normal.
I also just don't care about their opinions anymore.
You shouldn't.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. Yeah. That's have you ever struggled with that?
I did growing up, because my brother is just very smart, and so him and my dad would connect on a lot of that stuff, because my dad is also very smart.
Yeah.
And so they would kind of bond.
You are also very smart.
They're different smart.
Okay.
So they would kind of bond over that, and my brother was just very good at school, and I wanted nothing to do with it. I just wanted to be out playing, doing sports, swimming all day, playing tennis, whatever. And so I think in return of that, I was willing to do whatever it took to kind of be able to try and be interested in it, but I just couldn't do it. And so whenever I was applying to schools, my dad and my mom wanted me to be in something STEM related, or something that would guarantee you a job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I understood. They obviously want you to be successful.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so I'd started out being a math major whenever I started university. And I loved it, but there's something, I just don't do well with tests. I don't enjoy the structure that it was taught and everything.
Yeah.
And so I would rather go out of my way to go learn these things and
Do it on your own terms.
Yeah, do it on my own terms pretty much.
Yeah.
And so during that time, I had that's whenever I was like, I'm just going to go do whatever it takes to be successful. I don't care if I enjoy it. I just want to make a lot of money. I don't care what that looks like. And so a lot of my...
But do you care what the check looks like?
100%. So a lot of I was in the investment banking club. And so a lot of my friends were going into investment banking. And they were like, you'd be good at this. You can hustle. You can work hard.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I'll go do it. This is perfect. So with that, I was told, oh, you should switch into majoring into econ. Your GPA will be higher, and this is what all these banks want. Perfect. I convinced my dad to let me do that. And he was like, okay, this will be fine. You'll major in econ. We'll figure it out. And so in that time frame, I was still, they'll still be proud of me. And my dad was originally in investment banking. And so we would kind of talk about that. My brother was into it as well. And so it kind of gave me something. And then after that, I was still doing econ, and I had started doing real estate as well. So I got my real estate license.
Of course
And
you did. Yeah.
And one of my friends.
I don't care, okay? I don't care how much better you are than all of us. Just kidding.
She's the 21-year-old version of Aaliyah Miller. That's all like Aaliyah was always like, oh yeah, I did that, I did this, I did
Yeah,
that.
yeah, 100%.
So with that, I had really enjoyed it, and I enjoyed being around those people. And that's kind of whenever I had learned that I wanted to do something that I actually enjoy doing, and you can make a lot of money doing that.
Yeah.
So that was kind of the detour of the whole STEM major be.
Check this out. Have you ever heard of a millionaire that you know that works for a company?
No.
You've never heard of it. You've never seen it. I just had a conversation with somebody this past week where, if you're listening, you know who you are, and this is not shade, I promise. I love you so much. But his goal was 6 figures by 35, and then by 45, $250,000. And I looked at him and I go,
Wait.
your goal should be to be a millionaire by 35.
Yeah.
You know, like, because I just saw I see so much potential in him, and he's a hustler too. You know, so we have to go into this, the CrossFit thing. Okay, we have to, just because there's so much of your story that you told us last night where I'm like mind blown, and you can share whatever you want to share. You don't have to share all of it. Okay, so it's really interesting to me because you get into CrossFit a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
What got you into it, and how'd you get so deep into it so quickly?
One of my best friends that was one of my coaches at F45, she had done CrossFit at a gym in our town, like in our area. And she had kind of told me, she would hint at me, be like, you need to come try this. She would tell my best friend and I was like, yeah, I really enjoy this. I don't see the point of leaving. And then Rogue was about an hour and a half north of us. And so one weekend, this was a week after my Ironman, I had done one class with her before. Thought it was fun, but it didn't really catch my attention. But I was watching Rogue, and I had seen the girls competing, and it had kind of clicked for me that you can't just be good at one thing. Mm-hmm. And that's what I've been good at my entire life.
One thing?
It's like, no, I was okay at everything.
Oh, okay.
And I was never good at one thing.
Okay.
But I just saw what they were doing, and I was like, this is cool. These girls are so strong. I need to go do this. Mm-hmm. So we had gone to Rogue, gone and watched, and my friend was still pregnant at the time, and her baby was due at the end of January, and my next Ironman was April 23rd.
This is the third one?
This is the second one.
Okay.
So my first one was in October. We went and watched Rogue. I was already planning on doing my second one, and my friend and I were like, okay, after you have this baby, she was due at the end of January. She was like, I'll be ready by the time you're done with your Ironman to get back into training, and we'll start CrossFit together. So we had found a gym in our area, started doing CrossFit, and I had never really been a competitive person whenever I swam. I wanted to be the best version of myself, I wanted to be better, but it didn't really bother me if other people were good or better than me or beating me or something. But whenever I had started CrossFit and we would do workouts in a class, something had just clicked that I was like, oh, I'm gonna destroy this person. Like, no matter who it is next to me, I don't know what had clicked, but in my head I was like, oh, I'm
during a class?
Yeah.
I fucking love this because I am the same way, and that's exactly what happened to me.
Yeah, but I had never experienced that. I never really cared. And so to experience that, I was like, I'm ready to fucking go, dude. Like, it's so crazy.
That's sick. Yeah.
So I'd started doing that, and a few of the coaches around the gym would ask me, oh, what are you doing next? Like, are you going to do another Ironman? What are you training for? was like, I'm just having fun. And after my second Ironman, they have something called Ultraman, which is a double Ironman. And I wanted to do that. But I knew that I needed to be stronger, like to be a better runner, because I just didn't have that strength. I knew that CrossFit would help me get stronger. So that's kind of what I had started it for, but I knew that it would be fun. But then whenever I started CrossFit, I was like, oh no, I'm good. I'll stick to this. And I just had so much fun doing it. And so they were like, oh, you should join our competitors program. Like, you should start training with us. And so that's kind of how I started, but I had never, everything else that I've done is just kind of show up and you work hard. I never really gone out of my way to be better. Yeah. And that with CrossFit, I was willing to do all of that. You tell me what to do, I'll figure it out. Yeah. I'll make it work. And it wasn't just looking at my fitness, like how can I be better? But I was interested in all of it. Like, the fact that how tight the community is and what CrossFit has the potential to do for somebody, that's what stood out to me. Yeah. And I don't think you have that in a lot of other communities. No. Or I know that you don't have that. Yeah.
I've been a part of all the fitness communities. There's nothing like
nothing.
it. Yeah.
So that stood out to me, and I think the competitive side of it is something that I'm just interested in. Yeah. Like, just because I had never done that as an athlete before. So, yeah.
Well, for me, it makes sense that you would get into CrossFit and you'd get into it like how you are. I was gonna say obsessive. I don't know if you're obsessed with it, but yeah. Because you are of the mindset that like nothing is deserved. Like, and this is the sport of like, you don't deserve to walk on your hands. Yeah, like you don't just
you
get
have to
do
work
that
for everything.
Yeah, I mean, she's been working for like 7 months on walking on her hands, and she's now
longer than that.
Well, a year or whatever, and she's become proficient at it now. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like when I was first starting CrossFit, I was obsessed. Any chance that I got where I could find like 5 minutes to try to walk on my hands, I was trying to walk on my hands. The amount of handstand walk volume I probably did in the beginning before I had a coach and all that was insane. But I learned in 3 weeks how to walk on my hands, you know, because I just took every time that I could.
You can see the rewards of the work that you put in.
Yes. Exactly. And it's not immediate, and that's also what I really loved about it. Was like, fuck, dude, normally things come to me pretty easily. Like I'm just like, and that's not, I'm not trying to be cocky, but naturally talented with a lot of things where I can at least like pick up on it. You know what I mean? And CrossFit was like the thing where I was like, I can't pick this up at all. Like, and golf too. Golf, I can't pick up at all. And so, you want to hop in? Doing something new. Jason Ansley, the guy who's on this, or who started the event, the owner, just walked by,
running the event.
Anyway, so walk me through how you start to slowly slither yourself into these different communities. DJ Pauli B knows and works for everybody. Well, you don't have to name anything like that, but the hustle mentality obviously is what got you that. But how do you there's a lot of kids your age that probably wish they could be doing what you're doing. So let's reframe this.
But they can't.
They can't. So okay.
I said can. I said
can.
They
can't?
They can.
I don't think they can. I'll tell you why. I think that everybody has the opportunity, but not everybody has the skill set. So like I
don't agree.
You don't? We can talk. We can argue about it in a second. What I think is that what I would say you're like a master networker is what I would say. That's such a skill. That is the skill that I tell all kids that I have that are around your age or a little bit younger. If there's one thing that you can learn how to do, it's network. So the book that I always tell people to read, you've probably read it, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Have you read it?
No.
No? Well, you should read it.
Okay.
Because you do all the things in that book. It seems like.
She doesn't need to read it. She wrote it.
She fucking wrote it. She's Maxwell C. whatever. Yeah, it's the greatest book ever, dude.
Yeah.
I swear that book opened up so many doors for me and opportunities 3 years ago. I can't credit that book for enough. But yeah, so let's argue about it. Why do you think that? Everybody can do it.
I don't think I'm good at networking.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I really enjoy talking to people and
Which
learning
is?
from people.
Which is?
But whenever I was doing real estate,
Yeah.
we would have networking events, whatever. So it's parties that you go to for dinner.
Okay.
You couldn't pay me. I'd never been to one.
Okay.
But since I'm interested
Yeah.
in CrossFit, I wouldn't see it as networking. I just enjoy making those connections with people.
Unpopular. Well, that is networking, Pauli.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
Unpopular opinion. Those networking events, most of them are fucking cheese corn. Like it's not. It's
Yeah.
like they're not.
But it's fake, and that's
exactly
another thing.
Exactly. That's
It's-
not real networking.
Yeah.
What you've done is. And if you read the book, it's developing relationships, creating relationships with people long-standing. You're building a rapport with people. People learn to trust you because you are you. You're not somebody fake. It's like dating. The game of dating is, right? You show somebody a version of you that they want to, that you know they want to see, right?
Yeah.
And then what I think happens later on, the reason why people like get resentful towards each other is because they're not the same person that they presented themselves to be.
Okay.
So that's not real like relationship building or networking.
Yeah.
You probably present yourself to be the same person every single time.
Yeah.
So people actually get to fall in love with DJ Pauli B, right? And,
Right.
and then you don't let them down because you've always been you and it's genuine, right?
Okay.
So what you've done is master networking,
Okay,
in my opinion.
that's fair.
And if I would drop the names, people would be like, Pauli, you're a master networker.
I've been given opportunities to just be in front of these people.
Yeah.
And so,
Part of but part of it isn't you've been given them. You've actively chased them.
You made the opportunities
Yeah.
for yourself. Like you've
Remember
done
you
the
said
work.
not everything
Yeah.
deserves. You're not
Yeah.
deserving of anything.
I think it's just luck.
Okay.
But I do think anybody can do it. But a lot of people aren't willing to make the sacrifice or the risk in order to make it happen. And I'm willing to do anything in order to be successful.
Yeah.
And I like in this
including
field,
this podcast.
Yeah. In this field, I won't stop until I get to where I want to be, and I'm willing to make that happen. And whenever I swam, I don't think I had the passion or the drive or the interest in order to make that happen. And now I do, and so I've gone out of my ways to seek. I keep on saying out of my ways, but I don't mean out of my way.
Yeah.
But I've naturally been guided into these opportunities
Yeah.
that I naturally have interest in, and I know other people at home who have said the same things. How have you met all these people or been connected to these people? But I just don't see it like that because I go up to these people just like anybody else, and I just want to learn from them, and to have the opportunity to just be around them, or I don't know.
So one thing that Gabe said in our podcast together that really struck a chord with me was, it's funny how the harder you work, the more lucky you become.
Yeah.
So it's not really luck. It's the fact that like
You're working hard.
Yeah, you're working hard and you're putting yourself in those positions. And mind you, there are moments for sure probably in your journey so far where people have just, like Rolo introduced us to all those people. You watched it happen at Rogue, right? He introduced us to all those people, and that I would attest to luck and God, just like making the divine timing happen, right? But like, so there are going to be moments where like people are just, hey.
But then I would argue also, though, that, you know, we took a chance going there, not knowing what it would be like.
Yeah. So
We put in the work. We decided to do this. We decided to.
It's that risk.
It's a risk.
And you have to, what's it called? Scale out the risk to benefit ratio too, right? So like, you were willing to take the risk to take the flight to Arizona, like, and then go back the same day, and that put you in certain positions, right?
Yeah.
And let you meet certain people. But you never would have gotten that luck if you didn't take it, like she was saying.
Right.
If you didn't take the risk in the first place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's weird.
It is
It's
weird.
really wild. Yeah.
But it doesn't surprise me for you.
Yeah, and I think that people who are willing to make those sacrifices or like take those risks, that's when
rewarded.
they reap reward because
Yeah.
they're willing to do it. And I don't know, that's just how it happens.
It's
Yeah.
also just crazy because I think if you look back a year from today and I was told everything that would have happened, I would believe you in a sense because I know that I work hard, but also it's so crazy. And so it's reassuring to me to think that from a year ago, and if I keep on doing this, look forward 10 years where I'll be, and then in that time I'll be like, oh, if I looked back 10 years ago today and told me everything that I would have achieved, I would be mind blown.
So on that,
Yes. Perfect.
we're going to end the
Perfect.
pod there, and I'm going to ask you the 3 questions that we ask everybody, okay? Actually, I'll let Heather do it.
God, I gotta remember them now. Okay, so the first question is, since we're at the end of 2023, let's say, what's your biggest goal for 2024?
Oh, this is a loaded question.
Let's say professionally.
Yeah.
Oh. I don't have one that's measurable. I just want to help people, help Paper Street be as successful as possible, and help Broken Science Initiative as best as I can.
Sweet.
The thing, I don't know what kind of value I give, and so I just do my best
Yeah.
to what I can do,
Yeah.
and hopefully it helps the people around me, I guess.
We talked about that last night. Yeah, at your age, the best thing that you can do is just ask how you can help and do the things that people ask.
Yeah.
You know, that way you get the experience and you start to learn like what you're really good at and what you can handle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then the 2 questions we ask after that are, what are you willing to sacrifice to reach those goals?
Everything.
Everything?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
What are you not willing to sacrifice? I know you said everything, but
Yeah, nothing. I don't care.
I don't care about anything.
or morals.
Yeah.
I know that my friends and my support system around me have my back, and the people that are important to me are on my team. They understand everything that I do and the reason why I do it. And so whenever I'd moved to Virginia during the summer, and my friends back home, obviously they're sad, but they understand why I'm doing it and what I'm willing to give up.
Yeah.
I know that at the end of the day, they'll still have my back and we'll still be family. So,
Oh yeah, dude.
yeah, I'm willing to do anything. I don't care.
Sweet, man.
Yeah, she's 21. She has nothing to lose.
She's 21.
Yeah,
She's crushing it.
I don't have any responsibilities, so.
Hell yeah.
I mean, you kind of do.
I do, but
but
You definitely do.
she's able to take a lot of risk right now.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's really admirable at your age.
Thank you.
Sweet. Well, that was a great pod, dude. Thanks so much.
Thanks,
Yeah.
guys.
It wasn't bad, right?
It wasn't bad.
You talked the whole time.
You did. I was just in the first half of it. I was like, I'm just gonna listen to Paul. I'm just listening to Pauli.
I hope
We've
you
called
guys
her, I think,
enjoy.
5 different nicknames this entire
She has
podcast.
so many
dude.
different nicknames now.
So anyway, thanks so much for watching, guys. Hit that like button, subscribe if you are new, which you are new. Let's get this channel up to 1,000
Oh.
subs by January 1st.
What are we on now?
That's
We're
a
at
lofty goal.
229. We lost 1 subscriber. 1,000's not that
We've
hard.
got it. I'll go on to my different Google account and subscribe, so we're back at 230.
Hell yeah. Yes. I think Travis is the
So
one
we
who unsubscribed.
only have 770 left.
That's it. That's not that
it.
much.
Yeah.
Think about it. It's really not
got
that
it.
many people. So,
Share to your friends.
yes. Yes. Thanks, Pauli. All right, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for listening. If you're on Spotify, Apple, all that stuff. And we'll talk to you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.